Hey folks, my name is Mo Amir and this is VANCOLOUR, British Columbia's bona fide culture and politics TV talk show. We have a dangerous lineup tonight, and you know me, I live on the edge. So we're going to talk about the dangers of internet fame. Plus, Netflix comedian Ivan Decker will be here to discuss the dangers of fatherhood, probably to the collective eye roll of mothers everywhere. But first, let's talk about the dangers of BC. Obviously, our province is not immune from natural disasters, but where is the safest place in BC? Here to share her investigative findings is a journalist for Glacier Media. She is Alanna Kelly. Alanna, thanks for joining us on this dangerous show tonight.
Yes, thank you.
When we think of natural disasters, just how dangerous is British Columbia?
You know, BC has all of the hazards. So that's something that's unique, right? and that's what I learned in this piece that I did. And as beautiful as the mountains and the ocean is, and it's why we live here, there is a lot of hazards that come with that. So we have everything from earthquakes, landslides, flooding, wildfires, and I mean, we haven't had a tsunami in a long time, but tsunami. So those risks are present. You know, if you look anywhere in the province, they're really on all corners of our province.
And I feel like we've been talking about the big one when it comes to the earthquake for a while, right?
Yes.
So like that's like the one that we're all kind of fearing.
Yeah. And what I did for this piece was I talked to a lot of very smart people, way smarter than me.
Okay.
And I asked them to kind of eliminate some sections in the province that wouldn't be the safest.
Okay. So what did you eliminate then?
So the north is drying rapidly. So it's
so dangerous.
Yes. High danger for wildfire. So right away I was able to X that off from the safest place. Okay. Then if you look at earthquakes, like you talked about, if we look at that map, it shows Vancouver Island and Vancouver in the red. So a high danger. So instantly I was able to say, okay, places on Vancouver Island, not the safest, including Vancouver. So I was able to eliminate those places.
And what about Richmond, BC? I feel like I've been told that it would just dissolve when the big one is to hit.
So what I learned was that's all to do with the soil. So it's that loose, soft soil. So if an earthquake or a tsunami happened, there would be a lot of liquefaction. Right. So I learned a lot of fun terms doing this. And what that means is that it would essentially just give way. So I was able to eliminate those areas as well.
Got it. So all of this is informed expert opinion.
Yes.
What's your conclusion in terms of the safest jurisdiction or the safest place in British Columbia?
And I should say, before I tell you, it took a lot of work to eliminate like multiple places, right? So it wasn't just, okay, I decided this one spot. It was multiple interviews with geologists, hydrologists, wildfire experts, meteorologists. And I went back and forth and made them pick out the safest place based on their expertise.
Okay.
So once I did that, I went back to them and said, okay, what do you think about this location? Or what do you think about this one? And they were like, yeah, it's okay. Or no, you can't do that one. And I should mention before I get to the results, but Haida Gwaii was one that stood out right away because people were like, oh, okay, it's lower fire risk. Okay. But turns out it's actually drying rapidly.
Right.
And the meteorologist was like, oh, but the air quality is better because you're not in that heat and the smoke that we all experienced, right?
Right, okay.
But I had to cross that one off. And then Coquitlam was a front runner.
Oh, wow.
But Coquitlam...
not Port Coquitlam.
No.
Not Port Moody.
No.
Coquitlam. Got it. Okay.
And the experts weren't happy with that one. So then I went back to the drawing board and we ended up all finally agreeing. They ended up agreeing on Burnaby.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
What is it about Burnaby that makes it so safe, I guess?
Yeah, I'm going to refer to my notes because I don't want to mess this up. Yeah. So it's on bedrock. So that material is really good for if there is an earthquake. It's not going to shake. There's not going to be that amplification or liquefaction. It's away from steep slopes other than Burnaby Mountain, of course.
Right.
It's away from large bodies of water, which would be prone to, let's just say, flooding. If you're in a floodplain, there's not really floodplain in the areas that we looked at in Burnaby.
Okay, wow.
There's a low fire risk, and that's because heavily urbanized areas actually pose a less wildfire risk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Exactly. And then if there was a Pacific tsunami, the risk is lower because it would lose its traction as it wrapped around.
I feel like you've given the city of Burnaby like some great marketing material.
The experts, not me.
Well, the piece as a whole, right, including the informed opinion. I feel like the city of Burnaby is going to be like, this is the safest place in BC.
Yeah.
You're totally immune from all the hazards and all the natural disasters.
Yeah, and the way I worded this was, if the experts hear this, they're going to be like freaking out, because the whole point of it was, and they told me over and over again, Alanna, there's not one place that's safe. Otherwise, they'd all live there.
Okay, so it's not totally safe, to be clear.
It's a lower risk.
I mean, I've been to Metrotown. It's pretty dangerous out there.
And I mean, I don't want to talk about this, but the rats, it's right when I published this story, the experts were like, Alanna, are you going to include the rats? And I was like, no.
Burnaby has a rat problem?
Yeah, I believe it's second highest worst city in BC for rats.
That doesn't sound safe at all.
Well, I focused on natural disasters, not rats.
Fair enough. Now, when we think about what's safe and what's dangerous, was there any region in BC that was particularly dangerous?
Yeah, the north. So the fire expert I interviewed, he was saying that the trends that they're seeing is the north is drying so rapidly. And he pointed to areas, I believe he said like Cranbrook and Peachland are really prone to that fire risk. As we saw, right, it was the worst wildfire season on record for Canada last year. So.
And it seems to be every year that we have those fires in that region.
Yeah.
Alanna, this was so illuminating. Thanks for adding a little more to your excellent piece that you had in Glacier Media.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Folks, follow her on TikTok and find her work across Glacier Media publications. She is Alanna Kelly. Now, after some business, why is internet fame so much more dangerous than regular fame? We'll talk about it up next.